Welcome to Same Spit Different Face TV. Well, my opinions is facts, and if you don't like my opinions, you can start your own podcast, and it's free. So don't forget to spit on the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell.
I'm back again for episode 2 of Same Spit Different Face podcast. Today I'm going to be breaking down the Drake lyrics, I'm going to be breaking down the Ross lyrics, and I'm going to be giving y'all my opinion on the beef. I'm going to do the lyrics first, then I'm going to do the opinion. Then I'm going to do Ross lyrics, then I'm going to do the opinion. And that's how it's going to go. I think the first thing I want to do is give y'all a backstory for those who don't understand. So, what it appears has happened is that, Future and Metro Boomin start dissing Drake on this album that they did together, the collaboration. Now, a lot of people are saying Drake started dissing Future first, and it was on a song where basically we all thought that Drake was talking about somebody else. What would Pluto do? But he was actually taking subliminal shots at Future. Now, this is a beef that only Future and him and maybe some industry insiders knew they were into at the time, and it's allegedly over a woman. Don't want to bring her in the middle of it. Don't want to give her shine about it. We y'all can look on the internet and figure out who she is and what else is going on from that standpoint of the situation. Now, as we continue to move forward, Kendrick Lamar ends up dropping a diss record. That diss record is 1000% aimed at Drake and J. Cole. He has some pretty decent, notable lines. I'm not going to go back over those lyrics. Go look them up because this video is about Drake and Rick Ross version of it. I just want to give y'all a backstory. Now, J. Cole end up dropping an album called I Might Delete This Later. It's actually a mixtape, and he put a song on there called 7 Minute Drill where he basically outright dissed Kendrick Lamar. Now, I think that J. Cole thought this was going to be on some rapidy rap bar back and forth type stuff, but once J. Cole got the word that this was going to get disrespectful, it was going to get real, it was about a lot of people, he actually went on stage and apologized. Now, what is my problem with J. Cole apologizing? I think it's mature for him to apologize, especially if he feel like he didn't feel how he said he felt. My problem with it is that you apologize to Kendrick Lamar for dissing him, but then you go hop on an album with two guys that's dissing the guy that you've been running around with for like a year or two, coming out to his shows, he coming out to your shows, you saying he your brother, y'all this, y'all that. So if you're gonna take a neutral stance, then you should take a neutral stance and say, hey, I know I did that verse for you guys, but what I gotta do is in the middle of this beef, I don't want no part of it. So take my verse off of the song or don't clear the verse. But another thing is J. Cole could have possibly cleared that song before this even happened. And J. Cole has said, yo, whatever come from this, I'm gonna take it on the chin. So he probably not gonna come out address and say, hey, I did that verse and I cleared it all on the same day just so we didn't have no problems with this moving first forward. Now let's move forward to April 13th. Drake drops his diss, and it's called Drop and Give Me 50. And now let me get into the breakdown of it. I could never be nobody number one fan. Your first number one, I had to put it in your hands. You can't get booked outside America for now. I'm out in Tokyo because I'm big in Japan. Now, I see a lot of people having a different take on this, and I think all of them are wrong. If you remember, Future was trying to do a world tour. He was putting a tour together, and the tour ended up getting canceled. And I think their excuse for canceling the tour was basically they was saying it was a scheduling conflict, or they couldn't get certain type of venues. But after Drake say this, I think that tour actually got shut down for poor ticket sales. And DJ Academics actually covered that at the time. And he said some of the venues were half full and it was like a month out from the actual concert and tour starting. And basically the people who was putting the money up didn't want to take the chance of losing more money. So they basically just cut their losses on that and canceled that tour. So I think that's about Future not being able to tour, not being able to tour globally. I'm the hit maker y'all depend on. Backstage in my city, it was friend zone. You won't ever take no chain off us. How the F you big stepping with a size 7 man's on? Now, that was just a play on Kendrick Lamar height. You know what I'm saying? He got a song called Big Stepper and Miss Morales, Mr. Morales. That's his album. And basically, he said it was just straight to the point. How you big stepping when you basically size 7 man shoe is like a woman's shoe. So that was that breakdown. Then this the bark with the bite, nigga. What's up? I know my pitch on the wall when y'all cooking up. Extortion, baby. Whole career you been shook up. Cause Top told you drop and give me 50 like some push-ups. And basically when he say extortion, he's saying that Kendrick Lamar is not in a record deal. He's in an extortion situation. And he's saying every time Kendrick Lamar drop, he has to give Top 50% of what he make. Now, when you look at that, that's a lot of money because he would be giving Top 50%, and then he would have to give the label a percentage. And then so you can look at it and say Kendrick probably walks away with between 15 to 25% of the earnings, if that, because then you also have to give a part of your publishing away, and Top maybe even own 50% of his publishing. So that would mean that Kendrick would get 25% of his publishing, Top would get 25% of his publishing, and the writer would get 50% of his publishing. So out of 100%, Kendrick would allegedly only get 25%, which if you Top, you're not doing none of the work. You putting the bread up, you probably doing some leg work, but you ain't in the studio doing a lot of the work. So for Top, everything is profit, especially when he put all the money behind him. Your last one bricked. You really not on shit. They make excuses for you because they hate to see me lit. Pull your contract because we gotta see the splits. The way you doing splits, your pants might rip. And that's just another shot at the splits between him. He basically saying, yo, you splitting too many of your earnings with too many different people. So that was just that. You better do that MF and show inside the biddy. Maroon 5 need a verse, you better make it litty. Then you need a verse for the Swifties. Top say drop, you better drop and give them 50. Now, when we look at this, he did a song with Maroon 5. He did a song with Taylor Swift. Now, why is this something that people are even talking about, right? Because Kendrick fashioned himself as being a rapidy rap guy. He fashioned himself as not doing things for the check, for the bag. He fashioned himself as being like a 90s rap guru. Like, you know, when he talk about rap, he says it like, hey, I'm the biggest rapper out here. I'm the one who holding it down for the culture. I'm not trying to go pop. So I think Drake is trying to say two things. You always talking about you rap and you know you a rap purist. So if you a rap purist, Top Dog must have forced you to do these features in order to get more money out of you. The other part of it is Kendrick Lamar did those records and commercially those records didn't top the charts. So I think that's another shot from Drake basically saying, well, if you was such a rap purist or if you were as big in rap as you was, why when you do these songs, these crossover songs with these other big artists, they don't translate to you being as big? Now Drake says, Pipsqueak pipe down. You ain't in no big three. Scissor got you wiped down. Travis got you wiped down. Savage got you wiped down. Like your label, boy. You in the scope right now, and you gonna feel the aftermath of what I write down. So when you look at these lyrics right here, a while ago Drake basically had posted like some charts, and you never see Drake post the charts, but he posted basically to kind of sneak diss Kendrick at the time. Now he blatantly sneak dissing him. SZA album sold more than Kendrick's. Travis album sold more than Kendrick's, and Savage album sold more than Kendrick's. Now I don't know overall, but them first week numbers probably is what he's saying, or maybe he's saying that they had more longevity to go with. And then obviously we know Dr. Dre discovered him. So in the scope, Interscope, Interscope Records, Aftermath, he basically saying he gonna feel what's happening with him, what he doing. Drake saying this he gonna feel the aftermath of it, where people gonna be criticizing him and saying Drake better and stuff like that, but also feel the aftermath of trying to get out of that contract with Top. He say, I'm at the top of the mountain, you so tight now. Just to have this talk with your ass, I had to hike down. So basically, that's simple. He's saying, I'm higher up in this rap game with you. And in order to have this conversation, I had to come down to your level because you not on my level. Big difference between Mike then and Mike now. What the F is this? A 20 versus one nigga? What's a prince to a king? He a son, nigga. Get more love in the city that you from, nigga. Metro, shut up and make some drums, nigga. So when you look at that situation, he basically saying, um, it's no difference between Michael Jackson then and Michael Jackson now. Michael Jackson is Michael Jackson forever. And if y'all know anything, Drake basically done broke all of Michael Jackson streaming and record album records and Billboard records. So that's basically what he's saying. He's saying I'm Mike now and that was Mike then. We the only difference is the time frame. And then the 20v1 line is basically how it's like Future, Weekend, ASAP, etc. all against him. And then what's a prince to a king? That's self-explanatory. And he basically saying that he get more love in the city. But I mean, Drake is a big artist. He come through. He put a lot of people on songs. He do songs with people. He come through. He spend money. He check in with the street guys. So obviously, somebody as big as Drake is gonna be tapped in, and he's gonna get more love than somebody who only come around every once in a while. When you look at Kendrick, you vision him as just somebody who rap and go home to his wife and spend time with his wife and kids. So when you look at it from that standpoint, if Drake is somebody who's able to move around more freely, he's gonna be able to tap in with more people. So more people are gonna side with Drake. Then Drake says, "Yeah, I'm the sixth guy. I'm the front runner. Y'all managers was Chubb's little blunt runner. Claim the six, and you boys ain't even come from it. And when you boys got rich, you had to run from it." And that's basically got to be a shot at the weekend because the weekend, when he first came out, he was basically claiming the six a lot. He was basically talking about having to be in the city. And then once he got rich, he moved out, and Drake basically saying, you didn't move because you wanted to move, you moved because you had to move. Then he said, Drake said, cash blowing, I'll be bread out here tricking. Blank we do for he doing for niggas. Jets, whips, chains, wicked, wicked, wicked. Spend it like you trying to. Boy, you tripping. Boy, you tripping. Drizzy Chippendale probably got your Chanel. I just got him done. Boy, don't make me have to chip a nail. So basically, I think this line is also about Future because Future got that song Wicked. And Drake basically saying, like, the stuff that, I do for women, you doing for your homeboys. And I don't think that's a good I don't think that's a good diss right there. I think um I think the part of it that Drake is trying to say about it is basically that he have to spend money on his homies to keep them in line. And but I don't really get the diss in that, to be honest, whatever it may be. And then the chip nails part is just like fight. And then he say rolling out stage y'all was turned that was slick as hell. Ish probably change if your BM started kiss and tell. Hugs and kisses, man. Don't tell me about no switches. I'll be rocking every effing chain I own next visit. So I don't know. I think that could be two lines, right? And then the part where it say probably change if your BM started kiss and tell. Now that could actually be about Ja Morant, or it could be about ASAP Rocky. Now, in my personal opinion, I believe this is an ASAP Rocky diss. The reason why I believe it's an ASAP Rocky diss is because ASAP Rocky on his song he said, I had your baby mama before you had your son, or something like that. And we only know that because Drake baby mama had did an interview or something had ended up happening where she ended up saying, her and ASAP Rocky was good friends or they had been together. So the part that make me tie it together is when Drake say, if your baby mama started to kiss and tell. So basically to me it sound like Rihanna got things going on her own time, and the only reason we don't know about it is because she not out here telling everybody what she doing behind ASAP back. But I feel like if ASAP keep pushing Drake, or if this beef continue to go, Drake might just come out and flat out say what he trying to say. And then it say, the part about rocking every chain is basically like nothing you can do to me when I'm in your city because I'm good. He said, Drake said, I'll be with some bodyguards like Whitney. Top say drop, your little midget better drop. A, better drop and give him 50. A, drop and give him 50. Drop and give him 50. Nigga really got me out here talking like I'm 50. Now, when you look at that, when he keeps saying drop and give me 50, that's basically just alluding to every time he drop, he got to give him 50% of it. And that's probably why Kendrick Lamar not dropping a lot. And then when he said they got me out here talking like I'm 50, 50 just reckless when he talk. He say whatever come to his mind, and that's what Drake is alluding to. And then he say, ends really got me out here rapping what I'm living. I might take your latest girl and cuff her like I'm Ricky. Can't believe he jumping in is turning 50. Every song that made on the chart he got from Drizzy. Spend that little check you got and stay up out my business. Worry about whatever going on with you and So basically that was a double entendre right there. I might take your latest girl and cuff her like Ricky, because Cuff Ricky, Officer Ricky is what they was calling him. I think Cameron was calling him Officer Ricky or 50 Cent. Either way though, right? That's one of the metaphors. And then the double on it is that Drake ended up hitting up Rick Ross' ex girlfriend, inviting her to the show, and she posted in her story and everything. So, he's saying he might cuff his latest girl. So that's like that double entendre for that. Everything else was basically super straight to the point. You know what I'm saying? When he say, "Hey, I put you on every song you got on the chart came from me." I don't believe that's true, because Hustlin' was one of Rick Ross' biggest songs, and Rick Ross kind of introduced Drake to a whole nother audience. And then it say, shout out to the hooper that be busting out the gritty. We know why you mad. I ain't even tripping. All that little heartbreaking titter for the I ain't even rapping after this. I'm way too busy. Now, him and Drake, it's a hooper, and I think his name is Amari Bailey. And it appears that Drake and Ja Morant both dated her, and for whatever the reason was, Drake is trying to say that um Ja Morant is in his feelings about that situation. And then Drake further raps. This for all the top dogs. Drop and give me 50. Drop, drop. And that effing song y'all got did not start the beef with us. This is been brewing in the pot. Now I'm heating up. I didn't. I don't care what Cole think. That dot ish was weak as F. Champagne tripping. He is not effing easing up. Ends calling Top to see if Top wanna piece it up. Top wanna piece it up. Top wanna piece it up. Nah, see, now you on your own when you speaking up. Okay, so I think the part of this that everybody missed, right? He studies saying top dogs. He basically saying that him and Top is at the top, and he constantly doing that entendre where he's saying that Top making him give him 50% of everything. What would also make us to believe that, it's not that Kendrick is just working so hard on these albums while he not dropping more. He not dropping more because in the process he's trying to get out of this contract before he drop, and then it becomes so late that he just like, man, I might as well just drop now because I need to get a fan something. And then the other thing was basically Drake saying that, that beef that little diss that Kendrick Lamar dropped didn't start the beef. The beef been started. Now it's just, it's just bubbling to the surface. Like everybody in the mainstream on the outside starting to be able to see it, but that's not where it started at. And then what was the other part? So and then they also have when Drake say Top wanna piece it up, Top wanna piece it up. So on the lyrics, they have two question marks. But it's not two question marks. You have to look at this one different. He say ends calling Top to see if Top want to piece it up. So that's him saying that somebody calling Top from his team to see, yo, is we good? And then he's saying Top want to, somebody from his team is saying Top want to piece it up. Top want to piece it up. And the reason you know this because after that he say now you on your own when you speaking up. So that basically saying that we done called Top to check the temperature, see if he really into it with us. Top saying I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's y'all and him. And now Drake basically saying, yeah, you out here all alone when you do this. And then after that, Drake says, you done rolled deep to this. It's no effing deep enough. Begging Casanat, boy, you not beating us. So basically, Kendrick Lamar must have been begging Casanat to premiere his song, but Kai wouldn't. Number wise, I'm out here. You not effing creeping up. Money wise, I'm out here. You not effing sneaking up. Cornball, your show money, merch money, feed of us. I'ma let you ends work it out because I seen enough. This ain't even everything I know. Don't wake the demons up. Now that's an important line right there because if this ain't everything you don't want them to start dropping everything else. But I think the key to actually winning a rap battle is one, not being ashamed of anything that you ever did in your past or anything you got going on and being willing to address it back to them, but also at the same time being willing to get just as personal as they is. Then it got DJ Academics on here, which I think is genius because DJ Academics kind of controls the internet narrative. And I think Drake learned from the Pusha T battle that the internet is going to control the narrative. You can't really control the narrative no matter how big your machine is because the internet is going to pick what they like more. And he took that in the Meek's situation. So what Drake did was he know DJ Academic is a huge fan of his. And also he was like, all right, if I put DJ Academics on this song, he gonna hype it up even more. And then they say the outro, um, drop a 50 bag on the mob in the spot. Drop a 50, drop a 50 bag, 29 for the thought. I was really trying to keep it PG. Um, and to me, that might even be a jab at Paul George. I don't know why it would be a jab at Paul George, but Paul George's wife used to be a stripper, and if I'm not I can't remember how he got her, but anyway, she used to be a stripper, so that could be a jab at Paul George. Now let's break down Rick Ross music. Now it says fish tanks and marble floors, living big and bad. Ends laugh until they hit with the official jab. Crack smoke in the exhaust from my pen and pad. Ghostwriters, they got to floss what you could have had. Record labels taking a loss. Are you in your bag? You workers wanted the chart. Don't make me laugh. Get to mine, tell by my watch this a different time. Living fine, I'm getting high as this ish decline. You believe he move in keys and his Louis V's. Run up on you and start and snatch your chain. Watch you bleed. Feel the pain and just describe when you really ride. Either you is getting money or ready to die. B.I.G. give a F if a T.I. lead. You got it and you keep it tucked if you be by me. Do the job, better known as Charles Schwab's. Double R spread through the yard, and I swear to God, I think this is just straight to the point. I don't see a lot of metaphors in there. Now, I think the Chi Lee line is if I'm not mistaken, Chi Lee was just like a rapper from New York and he ended up like clapping somebody in front of a store and he ended up getting a lot of time. He did end up getting out of jail after he did that. But basically, if I'm not mistaken, the story behind Chi Lee 2 was when he went up on the guy, him and the guy got into it, and he asked the guy, was he ready to die, or something like that. And he ended up clapping him. Y'all can go look that story up for sure. And most of this stuff is like basically just straight to the point. And I think this first part is when Drake basically said that Rick Ross was broke. He basically called him broke, right? So I think that first part of it was Ross basically trying to address the money situation and basically say, yo, I'm still living lavish. Now, Ross says, pop a perk for the veal, go and count me a meal, kill you N words for free, do it for the thrill. N words leaking their records when we speaking directly. So I think what this is basically about is that Ross and Drake probably got on the phone to talk about the situation. And instead of that being that, maybe they came to some type of understanding, but Drake still leaked the record to get a vibe for it to see, probably to see what everybody was gonna say too, to see if people was gonna bow out or if people was gonna apologize or if people was gonna hit him back. So I think that's what he mean by that. Then Ross says, if we keeping it gangster, when you see me, you check me. White boy, I see you. I see you. Yeah, check. So I mean, him calling Drake white is kind of like, I think this is deeper than we think, right? Him calling Drake white, because remember in a lot of Drake early songs, he would say stuff like, "It's funny how when I was growing up, they said I wasn't black enough. Now I'm in the music where they say I'm not him because I'm not making up stories about where I'm actually from." And when he was growing up, the people he was around didn't see him as white, and the black people didn't see him as black enough. So he had that identity crisis. So I think that's Rick Ross trying to play that psychological warfare with that. I'm interested to see what Drake says after hearing that line and how he come back. Getting bullied, don't walk up on me because the clip is fully ends peas, don't want to push me. I'm like really Woody, like his moves, but he never had to fight in school. Now that line is simple. Like I said, Ross wanted to hit him with straight to the point. It wasn't a lot of similes, metaphors all around. He was going straight to it. He basically say, man, I like the way Drake moved, but he never had a fight in school. So I think Ross is trying to out tough Drake when it comes to this. Always ran another end, had to write your grooves, flow is copy and place, Wheezy gave you the juice. Another white boy at the park want to hang with the crew. Like I said, this is basically to play on Drake insecurities as a child when Drake was saying he wanted to hang with the black people, but they were saying he wasn't black enough. Port supplies winner switching up like dyed denim. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Kendrick Lamar was the one who won the Pulitzer Prize. So I don't understand why he said he switched up, but we'll figure it out. Get incentives for all the killings while we ride rentals. Look me right in my face. He begging to shake. Told you and stay scamming. I predicted my fate. So I like that line because if y'all go back and listen to the Stay Scheming song, he basically said that the people be around you be the ones scheming on you. So I really like that line. Got more money than you. F you want me to say. 50 million for the crib where you want me to stay. I can shoot up the block. I got pictures to paint. Let you DM my H, but got B's you can't. Let you get on my songs. It was good for your face. Now B ends, it's on. Ain't no room for debate. So I think this one was actually a really good comeback, man, because a lot of times when Drake get on tracks, he talk money to people, and once he start talking money, the other rappers not really up to where he at financially. So that's another reason why I think Drake made the line where he talked about Rick Ross age instead of trying to do the money talk, because Drake understand that Rick Ross is up. And then he Ross also addressed Drake DMing his girlfriend, and he basically his ex girlfriend, and he basically said, "Yeah, it's gonna be some women who gonna move how they move. You gonna be able to DM them and use them as pawns, but it's also women I got that you would never be able to use as a pawn and never be able to DM in." This could also be Drake could have probably tried to DM Ross baby mama to get some info on him, because Ross baby mama and Ross been beefing for the longest. It's goofy at this point, but anyway, let you get on my songs. It was good for your face. Now remember, I told y'all earlier, Drake was big, but he wasn't really respected in street music, right? People was looking at him as like, the actor, the biracial guy who can rap, but he raps soft and he do this and he do that. But then once Drake started to get around Ross, his career started to come full circle and the streets started to respect him. So you gotta give Ross that. That's just facts. To be honest, we can't say nothing about that. Ross say, pop a perk for the veal, go and count me a meal, kill you ends for free, do it all for the thrill. Niggas leaking they records when you speaking directly. If we keeping it gangster, when you see me, you check me. So basically, Drake get on the songs and he talk gangster. So Ross telling him, when you see me, just check me if that's how you really feel about it. Now, I think this was really good right here because Ross used one of Drake's samples just like Drake used one of DJ Academic samples. And Drake says in this sample on Ross diss, it says, by the way, I got a lot of respect for a lot of rappers, but I got one guy, he's my favorite person to rap with on any song. His name is Rick Ross. So basically, Ross is basically trying to expose him and say, well, if you felt like I was a cop, or if you felt like I was fake or any of this stuff, well then why was you running around saying you respect me and I'm one of your top favorite guys? Like, that's fake of you to say you respect somebody if you really don't. Now, Ross further says, you ain't never want to be a N word anyway, N. That's why you had an operation to make your nose smaller than your father nose. Now, this line is heavy. And when I look at some of Drake old pictures and some of his new pictures, it could be the angle, but it definitely looks like Drake's nose is smaller than it used to be. And then Ross further says, I unfollow you because you sent my homie to cease and desist, French Montana. You sent the police hating on my dog project. So basically, what Drake did, he sent the cease and desist through his lawyer and basically told French Montana, don't use that verse I gave you. Now, it could be because he had some issues with Ross and Ross was on the record, whatever the case may be. Drake basically stopped French when basically French did a lot for Drake's career as well. Stay Scheming was actually a French Montana record, and that was one of Drake's verses where everybody started to be like, "Ah, he really one of those." And then he say, Ross says that wasn't the same white boy that I seen, and when you were making them early records, when you were happy to be around ends, seeing ends holding them sticks. You owe MF a stun of your life. Gave Wheezy some more money. Give Rap a lot some more money. Yeah, biggest is Rose. We can do it how you want to do it, where you want to do it, anytime you want to do it. I'm ready. I'm ready, white boy. I know you got your Dockers on with no underwears, white boy. That's a wild line right there. Yeah, you had the surgery, that six pack gone. That's why you wearing that funny ish at your show now. You can't hide it, white boy. So, like I say, Drake tried to make it appear as like if Ross being racist when he called him white boy, but Drake is actually a white boy. Now, is Ross trying to use white boy in a negative connotation? Of course he is, but him basically saying white boy isn't trying to like be racist. It's him trying to play on the fact that Drake has had identity crisis and Drake has spoke candidly about having identity crisis, and even the line where he say, "When you were happy to be around us, seeing dudes holding them sticks." Now, remember, Drake come from a part of life where he was in the hood. Well, he was a child star, and according to Drake, he ended up losing that money, and they moved. They wasn't like high class, they wasn't low class. They was just like maybe lower middle class, right? And he lived with his mom, so life was a little different for him. But I don't think when he was coming up, Drake was around like a lot of guys with sticks, and obviously the climate gonna be different too when you come from down south, because gun culture is real down south, especially in Florida, where guns are illegal and you can have different type of guns legally, opposed to if you up north in America or if you in Canada. So if that's your first time being around something like that, I can see Drake being excited to see a bunch of people with guns, because he never saw guns like that, never saw people hanging around with guns like that, etc. Right? So that was the end of Rick Ross beef. And now what I want to do, since I'm actually here, I'm just gonna break down the fallout of some stuff that happened since then. So when Drake's song got leaked, The Weeknd posted himself laughing, and basically in the song where The Weeknd dissed Drake, he said that Drake was getting all his stuff leaked. 50 Cent ended up chiming in. 50 Cent said, "All you ends got smoked by a light skinned N. LOL, y'all better get high as a MFer and come up with something." And then Rick Ross actually was laughing after that, and he was in the studio. The beat was playing. This was after him hearing Drake's song, and now Ross was basically on his way to do what he had to do with this situation. And then I just read the lyrics from the song he eventually pushed out, which was called Champagne or something like that. Uh, then we got Mack Maine, and he basically chimed. He took to Twitter, and TDE Punch said 12-hour flight, and then Mack Maine said you're still on the flight. TDE said Punch said nah, I'm the ground. What's good? Now obviously I think he meant to say nah, I'm on the ground. What's good? Then Mac Man say I'm in the trenches, baby, just making sure you made it safe. Drop hashtag drop and give me 50. Punch says appreciate you, made to New Zealand safe and sound. Scissor trying to convince me to go hiking, but I ain't really like that. Wait, are you trying to get a rise out of me, Mac Man? And then Mac Man said, P.S. The Canadian got Iggers leaving, and it ain't even been 24 hours. Lil Wex to New Zealand to go hiking. You could have did that in Runyon. And then hashtag don't snooze and don't miss the moment. Hashtag drop and give me 50. That was clever right there. Don't snooze and miss the moment, because TDE Punch basically said he didn't want to go hiking. Now, Mac Main further responded, hashtag boss, but if you do go when you fall, make sure you drop and give me 50. You heard me? I was just checking on you though. You usually get your Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless on. You was real quiet today. Ain't know if you had Wi-Fi on the plane. Enjoy New Zealand. So this is Mac Man basically calling out TDE Punch, because he feeling like Mac Man feeling like, listen, y'all got to remember, every time something happen, every time somebody say something to Kendrick Lamar or something about his record label or how he move, even especially if it's DJ Academics, Punch jumps out there and he be like, yo, who you talking to? Don't talk to this person like that. We'll see you, etc., right? But he didn't do any of that. Styles P chimed in on everything, and he said, not that anybody asked me, but it's pretty simple. Whoever can be the pettiest and the most disrespectful and not worried about crossing boundaries while being witty and applying pressure will win. Let the games begin. I'm in the audience with the popcorn, hoping this bring back competitive MCing when it's all said and done. I would bet a fingernail no one is going to get hurt. So this is verbal warfare, which I like to see. Don't judge me. Now, he right. This is verbal warfare. But when people say that nobody's gonna get hurt, I always try to tell y'all that these people be having friends behind the scenes that really be out in the trenches, that really be on the ground level, and it's never gonna be the big artists like a Drake, or it's never gonna be a big artist like a Rick Ross. These people actually move. Now, the one thing I would possibly think about is that Rick Ross has to amp up his security when he do his car show, because he does his car show at his house, and that would be an easy way for somebody to get him if they wanted to play some of those games. But Styles P is right. This will bring competitiveness back. And if we do a callback, we always hear Joe Budden say that these people don't really like each other. These rappers be on stage buddy buddy, and they not really as fly as they would like us to believe they are. And if we looking at this, we would have to think that Joe Budden would probably have some back information that we don't know about. Then so that's just really how I look at it, man. It's some information that we don't know about, but salute Styles P, man. Styles P is, he's one third of one of the best rap groups ever. D Block with him, Sheik Loose, and Jadakiss. And the trolling continues, right? So after Rick Ross dropped that disc, he had a song that he had to go do some type of concert, and he ended up wearing a shirt with Drake face on it. He had a hoodie with his face on it, with all his chains on it, and this is reminiscent of when Drake dissed Meek Mill while Meek Mill was in jail, and he wore a free Meek Mill T-shirt. So it was kind of the same thing that Drake was trying to say to Meek Mill. Listen, I'm dissing you, but it's not that I don't like you as a person. This is just what I have to do as an MC when you cross that line. And I think this is Ross also saying, listen, I like you as a person. You cool. We had our relationship, but I gotta do this to you because now you overstepping your boundaries when you think you can mess with Rick Ross. I think the last thing in this beef I need to cover is, so Drake mom basically texted him and asked him, did he get a nose job without her? Cause she always wanted one. And then Drake said, no, mom, I wouldn't have did it without you. I would have got a 2 for 1. This is just some guy I did songs with before and helped his career. And now he's being racist. Now, a lot of people on the internet are saying this is the white thing to do. You play on that race and you say, oh, well, he's being racist. When you look at the situation, like I told y'all, I don't see what Rick Ross doing as being racist. I see him playing on Drake insecurities. Drake talk all the time about, being with the white kids and not being white enough, and being with the black kids and not being black enough, and people ostracizing him, and trying to separate him from everything, so to speak. So when I look at this situation and when I talk about this situation, I 1000% just think that this has to keep going. You know what I'm saying? And so just to let y'all know, all right, for the people who've been here, for the people who've been here since like 29,000 followers, y'all used to seeing a bunch of small updates. I'm kind of changing the format of the way I do this. I'm gonna do longer episodes of podcasts so I can give y'all a longer breakdown of what's going on in these stories. Basically, I'll take Sunday through Friday in order to see everything that's went on, and then Saturday at 11 a.m. I'll be dropping a full length podcast, no less than 30 minutes. Ain't no telling how long it could go, just depending on what all happened during that week. And then from there, eventually I'm gonna start dropping them in smaller clips so y'all can be able to also reach those same small stories. But if y'all really want to figure out, I put the timestamp inside of it, so if y'all trying to figure something out, y'all can just go to that place inside of the long form video. Now, for those of you who like the TV show Power, I do have a Power show. Now, what's Power? It's 50 Cent show. James St. Patrick, Tyreek St. Patrick, Tommy Egan. I cover that on a YouTube channel. It's called Power Book Multiverse and Cinema. If you want to come over there and hear more about this power, I basically do power in a podcast form too. Theories and show breakdowns. Check that out. Also, Instagram. I put my movies on there, or I put clips from my movies. Basically, you can go to Instagram and find out everything that's going on in my entertainment career that you want to find out. You can find the comedy, you can find the skits, the movies, the short films, the podcasts. Those are all there. So what I need you to do is, if you want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is at FAIRPLAY underscore 2333. And like that's Fairplay underscore 2333. And like I said, this is a special one that I'm dropping because I just wanted to give y'all the full breakdown of the Drake and Rick Ross beef and where it's going and how it started with the Kendrick Lamar and everything. And so I may end up giving y'all another one if enough stuff happen. But if nothing very significant happen, y'all will probably end up hearing from me about this again Saturday. Now, if I feel like these pods start to catch a lot of traffic, I'll start to maybe giving y'all two a day. Maybe I'll do Wednesday and Saturday, or something like that. Give y'all a midweek and one on the weekend. But anyway, man, this is the long form stuff. This is the new format I'm using on this channel. Appreciate everybody who tuned in to Fairplay 2333. Same spit, different face podcast, episode 2, push-ups and champagne. Peace. Click the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. Peace.